A quiet afternoon with the Kawaii Crochet Club. Let's begin by finding a comfortable place to rest. You might like to let your body settle just a little more deeply into wherever you are right now. There's no need to change anything. Just notice the weight of your body, gently supported. Perhaps your shoulders can soften just a bit, and your jaw. There's nothing to hold on to right now. Take a slow breath in if you'd like, and let it go softly, without effort, and another just as gently. There's nowhere else to be, nothing to remember, nothing to solve. Just this quiet moment. Let your breathing find its own rhythm now. Soft and easy, like waves that ask nothing of you. Everything is still. Everything is safe. And now, if you're ready, let's step into a peaceful afternoon where the light is warm and golden and time moves slowly like honey. There is a cottage near a lake. The cottage is small and soft, painted the palest cream, with a sloping roof and window boxes filled with herbs that smell of summer. Even now, in the gentle stillness of late afternoon. Inside, in a quiet room with wide windows, the Kawaii Crochet Club is gathered. The room is filled with light, not bright, but warm and filtered, the kind of light that comes through sheer curtains and makes everything feel softer. The light rests on the wooden floor in long golden patches. It touches the edge of a low table. It glows against the side of a ceramic teapot. Everything here is familiar. Everything here is calm. Peach the bunny sits near the window. She is a light pink bunny, soft and small, and she wears a teal beret, tilted just slightly to one side. Pinned to the beret is a small peach, knit carefully with tiny green leaves, a keepsake from a trip to Paris long ago. She touches it sometimes, gently as if remembering something warm. Right now, Peach is arranging teacups on a tray. She moves slowly. There is no hurry. The cups are pale and smooth, each one a different pastel, shade, lavender, mint, the softest yellow. She sets them down one by one, spacing them evenly, her small paws careful and deliberate. The tray itself is painted with tiny flowers, their colors faded and gentle from years of use. She smooths a linen napkin beside the cups, then another. Her movements are quiet, calm. Biscuit the Bear is sitting in a wide armchair near the center of the room. He is golden-furred, sturdy and gentle, and around his neck he wears a red and cream checkered scarf, soft from washing, worn with love. The scarf drapes across his chest, and sometimes, as he works, he adjusts it without thinking. In his lap is a basket of yarn. The yarn is thick and warm, the color of oatmeal, flecked with tiny bits of cream and taupe. Biscuit holds a crochet hook in one paw, working the yarn slowly, steadily, pulling each loop through with care. He does not count his stitches. He does not watch the clock. He simply works, row after row, the rhythm of his hands soothing, constant. The yarn slides softly through his fingers. Loop, pull, rest, loop, pull, rest. The sound is almost nothing, just the faintest whisper of fiber moving, of the hook catching and releasing. Mittens, The cat is curled on a cushion near the window, in a patch of sunlight that has warmed the fabric to just the right temperature. She is orange, bright and soft, with white paws and a cream-colored knit collar around her neck. A small silver bell hangs from the collar, though she is so still right now that it makes no sound. Her eyes are half closed. Her breathing is slow. She watches the room without urgency, her gaze drifting from Peach at the table to Biscuit in his chair, to the light moving imperceptibly across the floor. She stretches, once, long and lazy, her front paws reaching forward, her back arching just slightly. The bell gives the smallest chime, soft as a breath. Then she curls again, tucking her nose beneath one paw. Her purr is so quiet you might not hear it, unless you were very close. But it is there, a low and steady hum, vibrating gently through her small body. She is content. Sunny the duck is in the kitchen, just beyond the doorway that leads from the sitting room. The kitchen is small and cozy, with pale wooden counters and open shelves lined with jars of flour, sugar, honey. There is a window above the sink that looks out toward the lake, and the afternoon light streams through, illuminating the fine dust of flour that hangs in the air, making it shimmer like gold. Sunny is small and round, the color of butter, with bright eyes and a cheerful presence. She wears a pink and white polka dot bow, tied carefully at the side of her head. She hums, not a tune, exactly, just a soft, wordless sound rising and falling gently, like a lullaby half remembered. She is standing at the counter, looking at a bowl. The bowl is wide and cream-colored, filled with sourdough starter. The starter is pale and bubbly, alive and breathing, its surface dotted with tiny air pockets. It smells faintly sour, faintly sweet, warm and yeasty. Sunny tilts her head, observing the starter. She reaches for a wooden spoon, lifting it carefully with her bill, and stirs the starter, slowly watching the bubbles shift and pop, the thick mixture swirling lazily in the bowl. She stirs, and sets the spoon down. In the sitting room, Peach lifts the teapot now, both paws wrapped gently around its warm ceramic body. She pours tea into the first cup, lavender-colored, delicate, and smooth. The tea is pale amber, almost golden, and it fills the cup slowly, the surface rippling just slightly as the liquid settles. She sets the teapot down. Then she pours into the next cup, mint green, smaller than the first. The sound of pouring is soft, steady. The steam rises from each cup as it fills, twisting upward in lazy spirals, catching the light from the window. Peach pours a third cup, then a fourth. She does not speak. None of them speak. There is only the sound of tea being poured, the faint clink of ceramic as the teapot touches the rim of each cup, the soft settling of liquid into stillness. In the kitchen, Sunny has reached for a jar of flour. The jar is glass, heavy and solid with a cork stopper. The flour inside is soft and white, fine as powder. She unscrews the lid slowly, setting it aside on the counter. She reaches for a measuring cup, a small ceramic cup with a handle, and dips it into the flour, scooping gently, watching the white powder fill the cup, level and smooth. She lifts the cup and pours the flour into a larger mixing bowl, blue and wide, sitting on the counter beside the sourdough starter. The flour falls in a soft cloud, settling at the bottom of the bowl. Sunny dips the measuring cup again. Scoops, pours. The flour drifts down, quiet and light. She hums as she works, the same gentle, formless tune. The light in the sitting room has shifted, just a little. It is still afternoon, still warm, but the angle has changed. The golden patches on the floor have moved slightly to the left. The light that was touching the edge of the table now rests on the arm of Biscuit's chair. He does not notice. He is still crocheting, his paws moving in the same gentle rhythm. Loop, pull, rest, loop, pull, rest. The yarn grows longer in his lap, folding softly over itself, becoming something, though what it will be does not matter. The making is enough. Mittens shifts on her cushion, turning once, finding a new position. The bell chimes softly. She stretches her back legs, her toes spreading wide, then curling again. She settles. Her eyes close a little more. The purr continues, steady and low. Peach lifts one of the teacups now, the lavender one, and carries it carefully to the small table beside Biscuit's chair. She sets it down without a sound, the warm porcelain resting on a linen coaster embroidered with tiny daisies. Biscuit glances at the cup. He does not pick it up yet, but he is aware of it, the steam rising beside him, the warmth nearby. Peach returns to the tray. She picks up the mint green cup and carries it to a side table near the window, where a basket of yarn sits waiting. She places the cup beside the basket. Then she carries the smallest cup, pale yellow, to the cushion where Mittens is resting. She sets it on the floor, just within reach, should Mittens wish to nose at it, to breathe in the scent of chamomile and honey. Mittens does not move, but her ear flicks, just once, acknowledging the gesture. In the kitchen, Sunny has added water to the mixing bowl now. The water is lukewarm, poured from a glass pitcher, and it swirls gently as it meets the flour, darkening the white powder at the edges. Sunny reaches for the bowl of sourdough starter and spoons a generous amount into the mixing bowl, the thick, bubbly mixture plopping softly into the water and flour. She sets the starter bowl aside. She picks up a wooden spoon, a different one, longer and smoother, and begins to stir. The motion is slow, circular. The flour, water, and starter begin to come together, forming a shaggy, rough dough. It clings to the spoon, thick and sticky. Sunny stirs, her small body swaying slightly with the motion, her polka dot bow bobbing gently. She hums. Peach has returned to her own seat now, a low cushioned stool near the tray. She picks up the last cup, cream-colored, with a thin gold rim, and holds it in both paws, letting the warmth seep into her palms. She does not drink yet. She simply holds it, breathes in the steam, closes her eyes. The room is so quiet. There is the faint whisper of Biscuit's yarn, the soft hum of Sunny in the kitchen, the low, almost inaudible purr of Mittens on her cushion. The air is warm, the light is golden. Everything feels slow and soft and safe. In the kitchen, Sunny has set down the wooden spoon. The dough in the bowl is rough and uneven, but it has come together. She covers the bowl with a clean linen cloth, tucking the edges gently around the rim. Now the dough will rest. It will rise slowly over the next hours. The sourdough starter doing its quiet work, filling the dough with air, with life. But that is for later. For now, Sunny turns to another part of the counter where ingredients for cupcakes are waiting. There is a muffin tin, pale and well used. Its 12 cups lined with paper liners in soft pastel colors, pink, lavender, mint, pale yellow. Beside the tin, there is a bowl of butter, softened to room temperature, creamy and smooth. A bowl of sugar, fine and white, catching the light. A carton of eggs, small and brown. A bottle of vanilla extract, amber-colored with a faint sweet scent. Flour, baking powder, a small dish of salt. Sunny looks at the ingredients, tilting her head, her bright eyes taking everything in. Then she reaches for the bowl of butter. She uses a wooden spoon to scoop the butter into a larger mixing bowl. This one, pale green, smooth and wide, the semithid. Butter is soft enough that it yields easily to the spoon, curling into the bowl in thick, creamy ribbons. Sunny adds sugar to the butter, pouring it slowly from a measuring cup, watching the fine white grains settle over the pale yellow cream. She picks up the wooden spoon and begins to mix. The motion is slow, rhythmic. The sugar and butter blend together, the mixture lightening in color, becoming fluffy and soft. Sunny mixes, stirring in slow circles, her small body rocking gently with the effort. She hums. Time does not move forward here. It simply is. In the sitting room, Peach takes a small sip of her tea. The liquid is warm, sweet, floral. She holds it in her mouth for a moment before swallowing, feeling the warmth travel down, settling gently in her chest. She sets the cup down on its saucer. The porcelain makes the softest sound, a delicate clink, barely there. She smooths the napkin beside her cup. Then she reaches for the teapot again, lifting it carefully, checking the wait. There is still tea inside, still warmth. She pours a little more into her cup, though it was not quite empty. The tea swirls gently, mixing with what was already there. She sets the teapot down. Biscuit has paused in his crocheting. He reaches for his cup now, the lavender one, and brings it to his muzzle. He breathes in the steam, slow and deep, his eyes half closing. Then he takes a sip. He holds the cup in both paws, resting it against his chest, feeling the warmth through the ceramic, through his checkered scarf. He takes another sip, slow, unhurried. Then he sets the cup down and picks up his crochet hook again. Loop, pull, rest, loop, pull, rest. In the kitchen, Sunny cracks an egg into the butter and sugar mixture. She does this carefully, tapping the egg against the edge of the bowl, pulling the shell apart with her bill, letting the yolk and white slide into the creamy mixture. The egg settles on top, bright yellow and glossy. Sunny picks up the wooden spoon, stirs, folding the egg into the butter and sugar, watching the mixture turn a richer, deeper yellow. She cracks another egg, taps, opens. The egg slides into the bowl. She stirs, slow and steady, incorporating the egg completely before reaching for the next one. She hums as she works. Mittens has opened her eyes now, just slightly. She is watching a patch of light on the wall, a golden rectangle that has moved slowly across the pale painted surface. It is lower now than it was before. The edges are softer, blurred. She watches it without thought, just noticing. The light is warm, the room is warm. She closes her eyes again. Peach is smoothing the tablecloth now, running her paw along the edge, pressing out a wrinkle that may or may not be there. Her movements are slow, rhythmic, meditative. She adjusts the placement of the teapot, turning it so the handle faces a slightly different direction. Then she adjusts it back. She picks up a teaspoon from the tray, polishes it gently with the corner of her napkin, and sets it down again. Everything is in order. Everything is as it should be. In the kitchen, Sunny has added vanilla extract to the bowl. She measures it carefully, just a capful, and pours it into the mixture. The scent blooms immediately, sweet and warm, filling the small kitchen. She stirs. The vanilla swirls through the batter, invisible, but present, its fragrance settling into everything. Now Sunny reaches for the flour. She has already measured it into a separate bowl, along with baking powder and a pinch of salt. The dry ingredients sit together, pale and fine. She adds them to the wet mixture, a little at a time, stirring gently between each addition. The batter thickens. It becomes smooth and pale, coating the spoon in a thick, creamy layer. Sunny stirs, folding the ingredients together, making sure there are no pockets of flour, no lumps, just smooth, even batter. She hums. The light has shifted again. It is still afternoon, but later. Now, deeper, richer. The golden color has taken on a hint of amber, a warmth that glows against the walls, the floor, the soft surfaces of the room. The curtains move, just barely, stirred by a breath of air from the window, left open just a crack. The movement is so slight it is almost imagined. A ripple, a sway, then stillness again. Biscuit is still crocheting. His paws move in the same steady rhythm they have always moved. Loop, pull, rest, loop, pull, rest. The yarn in his lap has grown. It folds over itself, soft and thick, a small mound of cream-colored warmth. He does not measure it. He does not check his progress. He simply continues. The rhythm is soothing. The repetition is soothing. There is no goal, only the gentle act of making. In the kitchen, Sunny has begun to fill the cupcake liners. She uses a small ladle, scooping batter from the mixing bowl and pouring it carefully into each paper liner. The batter falls in a slow, thick stream, pooling at the bottom of each cup, settling into a smooth, even surface. She fills the first liner, then the second, then the third. The motion is slow, deliberate. She does not rush. Each liner is filled to the same level, just right, not too full, leaving room for the cupcakes to rise. She hums as she works, the same soft, formless tune. Peach has picked up her teacup again. She cradles it in her paws, feeling its warmth, though the tea inside has cooled slightly. She does not mind. She takes a small sip, savoring the taste. Chamomile, honey, something floral she cannot name. She sets the cup down. She smooths her teal beret, adjusting the small knit peach pinned to its side. She looks toward the kitchen where she can hear the soft sounds of Sunny working, the gentle scrape of the ladle, the quiet hum, the faint rustle of paper liners. She smiles, just a little. Mittens stretches again, slower this time. Her front legs extend, her claws just barely peeking out before retracting. She arches her back, her tail curling upward, the silver bell chiming once, twice. Then she curls again, tighter this time, her nose tucked fully beneath her paw. Her purr deepens. Sunny has filled all 12 cupcake liners now. The muffin tin sits on the counter, the batter waiting patiently in its pastel cups. Sunny sets the mixing bowl aside and reaches for the oven. The oven is old and sturdy, with a door that opens with a soft creak. Inside, the air is warm, already heated to just the right temperature. Sunny slides the muffin tin onto the middle rack, her movements careful and slow. She closes the oven door gently. The latch clicks. Now the cupcakes will bake, slowly, quietly, filling the cottage with the scent of vanilla and warmth. Sunny wipes her bill with a small cloth, then waddles to the sink to wash the mixing bowl. She turns on the tap, and water runs in a gentle stream, warm and clear. She adds a drop of soap, lavender scented, and watches it foam. She washes the bowl, running the cloth around the inside, dissolving the last traces of batter. The motion is slow, soothing. She rinses the bowl, watching the water carry away the soap, leaving the ceramic clean and smooth. She sets the bowl on a drying rack. Then she washes the wooden spoon, the ladle, the measuring cups. Each item is cleaned slowly, carefully, and set to dry. In the sitting room, Peach has returned to the teapot. She lifts it again, feeling its weight, lighter now but still warm. She pours a little more tea into Biscuit's cup, though he has not finished what is already there. The tea swirls gently in the cup, amber and gold. She pours a little into Mitten's cup, though it sits untouched on the floor. She pours into her own cup. The teapot is nearly empty now, but there is still a little left, enough for one more round, perhaps, or two. She sets it down gently. The room is so quiet. The light is so warm. Biscuit's hook moves through the yarn. Loop, pull, rest. Mittens breathes, slow and even, her small body rising and falling. The scent of baking cupcakes begins to drift from the kitchen, faint at first, then growing, vanilla and sugar and warmth. There is no rush, no urgency. Nothing needs to happen. Everything is exactly as it should be. Peach has set down her teacup. She reaches into a basket beside her stool, a woven basket filled with yarn in soft, muted colors. She lifts out a skein of pale pink, the color of rose petals, and sets it on her lap. She does not begin to work with it yet. She simply holds it, running her paw over the smooth, twisted fibers, feeling their softness. She sets it aside. She reaches into the basket again and lifts out another skein, this one cream, with flecks of gold threaded through. She holds it, feels its weight, sets it down beside the first. In the kitchen, Sunny has finished washing the dishes. She dries her wings on a small towel, then waddles to the oven, peering through the glass door. Inside, the cupcakes are beginning to rise, just slightly. The batter has puffed up at the edges, and the tops are starting to turn a pale golden color. Sunny watches, tilting her head. She hums. Not yet. They need more time. She waddles back to the counter where the bowl of sourdough dough sits, still covered with its linen cloth. She lifts the corner of the cloth just a little and peeks inside. The dough has risen. Not much, just a bit, but it is fuller now, softer, dotted with tiny air bubbles along the surface. Sunny smooths the cloth back over the bowl. The dough will rest longer. It will continue to rise, slowly, gently. in its own time. Sunny waddles to the doorway now, looking into the sitting room. Peach is still at her seat, holding the skein of cream yarn. Biscuit is still in his chair, crocheting, his paws moving in their steady rhythm. Mittens is still on her cushion, curled in the light, purring softly. Everything is as it should be. Sunny hums and waddles into the room. She makes her way to the window, climbing onto the wide sill. She stands there, looking out at the lake beyond. The water is still, reflecting the sky, pale blue fading to softer white near the horizon. There are no boats, no movement, just the quiet surface of the water, and beyond it, a line of trees, their leaves beginning to turn gold at the edges. Sunny hums, the same soft, formless tune. She shifts her weight from one webbed foot to the other, her polka dot bow bobbing gently. Peach has begun to wind the cream yarn now, slowly, around her paw. She does not count the loops, she simply winds, unwinding again, winding once more. The motion is soothing, repetitive, soft. Biscuit has paused again. He sets his crochet hook on the arm of his chair and picks up his teacup. He takes a long, slow sip, his eyes closing as he swallows. The tea is cooler now, but still pleasant, still comforting. He drinks again. Then he sets the cup down and picks up his hook. Loop, pull, rest, loop, pull, rest. The scent of vanilla has grown stronger now. It fills the cottage, warm and sweet, mingling with the scent of chamomile tea, the faint yeasty smell of sourdough, the clean smell of washed dishes. Everything smells like home, like safety, like warmth. Mittens has rolled onto her back now, her paws folded against her chest, her belly exposed to the warmth of the room. She does not open her eyes. She is utterly relaxed, utterly at ease. Her purr continues, a soft rumble that fills the quiet space around her. In the kitchen, a soft timer chimes, not loud, just a gentle ding, barely audible. Sunny's head turns. She waddles back to the kitchen, her webbed feet padding softly across the floor. She opens the oven door. The warm air rushes out, carrying with it the full, rich scent of baked cupcakes. Inside, the cupcakes have risen beautifully. They are golden on top, rounded and perfect, their surfaces smooth and even. Sunny reaches for an oven mitt, soft and quilted, pale blue, and pulls the muffin tin from the oven. She sets it on the counter to cool. The cupcakes sit in their pastel liners, still steaming gently, their warmth radiating into the room. Sunny closes the oven door. She turns off the heat. She sets the oven mitt aside. Then she simply stands there, looking at the cupcakes, her head tilted, her eyes bright. She hums, soft and pleased. She does not touch them yet. They need to cool. So she waddles back to the sitting room, back to the window, and climbs onto the sill again. The lake is still. The sky is still. The light has deepened, richer now, the amber glow settling over everything like honey. Peach has set down the cream yarn. She picks up her teacup and takes another sip, holding the warm liquid in her mouth before swallowing. She sets the cup down. She smooths the tablecloth. She adjusts a teaspoon. Everything is in order. Biscuit's yarn slides through his fingers. Loop, pull, rest. Loop, pull, rest. The rhythm is as steady as breathing, as constant as a heartbeat. Mittens sighs in her sleep, a soft, contented sound. The light shifts, the golden patches on the floor move, sliding slowly across the wood, elongating, softening. The curtains sway. The air is warm. Time passes, but not in the way it usually does. It simply exists, soft and unhurried, held in the amber light of afternoon. In the kitchen, the cupcakes have cooled now. Sunny waddles back to the counter and looks at them, tilting her head. They are perfect, golden and soft, their tops slightly domed, their scent still warm and sweet. She does not frost them. She does not add anything. They are enough as they are. She lifts one cupcake from the tin, carefully, holding it in her bill. She waddles into the sitting room and places it on a small plate beside Peach's teacup. Peach looks at the cupcake. She smiles. She does not eat it yet. She simply looks, appreciating its golden warmth, its simple perfection. Sunny returns to the kitchen. She lifts another cupcake and carries it to Biscuit, placing it on the small table beside his tea. Biscuit glances at it. His eyes soften. He continues crocheting. Sunny carries a third cupcake to Mittens, setting it on the floor beside the teacup that has gone untouched. Mittens does not open her eyes, but her nose twitches, just slightly, catching the scent. Sunny takes the last cupcake for herself. She carries it to the window and sets it on the sill. She stands beside it, looking out at the lake, at the trees, at the light beginning to take on the faintest blush of pink at the edges of the sky. She hums. The room holds them all. The scent of vanilla, the warmth of tea, the soft rhythm of biscuits crocheting, the quiet purr of Mittens, the gentle hum of Sunny, the stillness of Peach. Everything is soft, everything is warm, everything is safe. Peach reaches for the teapot again. She lifts it, checking its weight. It is empty now, but that is all right. She can make more. She sets the teapot down and rises from her stool, moving slowly toward the kitchen. In the kitchen, she fills a kettle with fresh water from the tap. The water runs clear and cool, filling the kettle with a soft, rushing sound. She sets the kettle on the stove and turns the burner to a low flame. The flame flickers, blue and gentle. The kettle sits, waiting as the water begins to warm. Peach looks at the bowl of sourdough dough, still covered with its cloth. She lifts the corner of the cloth and peeks inside. The dough has risen more now. It is fuller, softer, alive with air. She smiles. She smooths the cloth back over the bowl. Soon, she will shape the dough. But not yet. For now, it rests. Peach returns to the sitting room, moving slowly, her small paws quiet against the floor. She sits again on her stool. She picks up the pale pink yarn from the basket and begins to wind it slowly around her paw. She does not count. She does not measure. She simply winds. Biscuit's hook catches the yarn. Loop, pull, rest, loop, pull, rest. Mittens shifts on her cushion, stretching once more, her bell chiming softly. She settles again. Her purr continues. Sunny stands at the window, looking out. The light has changed again. The pink at the edges of the sky has deepened slightly, though it is still afternoon. Still warm, still golden. She hums. In the kitchen, the kettle begins to whistle. just quietly. A soft rising note. Peach rises and moves to the stove. She turns off the burner. The whistle fades. She lifts the kettle and pours the hot water into the teapot, filling it slowly, watching the steam rise. She adds fresh tea leaves, chamomile, a pinch of lavender, a touch of honey. She covers the teapot with its lid and carries it back to the sitting room. She sets it on the tray. The tea will steep. It will become warm. It will be ready when it is ready. Peach sits again. She picks up the pink yarn. She winds. Biscuit crochets. Loop, pull, rest. Mittens purrs. Sunny hums. The light glows, golden and soft. And the afternoon continues. Gently, endlessly. The yarn rests in the baskets. The tea steeps in the pot. The cupcakes sit on their plates, golden and warm. The sourdough dough rises slowly in its bowl. The light moves across the walls, and the Kawaii Crochet Club simply is. Together, quiet, content. Peach reaches for a cupcake now. She lifts it gently, feeling its warmth, its softness. She takes a small bite. The cake is tender, sweet, vanilla soft. She chews slowly, savoring. She sets the cupcake down. She takes a sip of tea, fresh now, warm and fragrant. The tea and the cake together are perfect. Simple, enough. Biscuit has set down his crochet hook. He reaches for his cupcake, holding it carefully in both paws. He takes a bite. His eyes close. The sweetness fills his mouth, warm and comforting. He chews slowly. He swallows. He takes another bite. Then he picks up his tea and drinks. Mittens has opened her eyes. She is looking at the cupcake on the floor beside her. She stretches. She leans forward. She sniffs the cupcake, her whiskers twitching. She does not eat it, but she appreciates it. She curls again, purring. Sunny has taken a small bite of her cupcake. She chews slowly, her eyes bright, her polka dot bow catching the light. She hums between bites. She looks out at the lake, at the sky, at the light that glows so softly. The room is filled with warmth, with comfort, with the quiet contentment of small, simple pleasures. Time moves, but does not move. The light shifts, but stays. The afternoon is endless and perfect and soft. Peach smooths the tablecloth. Biscuit's hook catches the yarn. Mittens breathes, slow and deep. Sunny watches the lake. And in the kitchen, the sourdough dough continues to rise, slowly, gently, filling with air, becoming. Later, though time does not press, Peach will shape the dough. She will fold it gently, turning it onto a floured surface, forming it into a round, smooth loaf. She will let it rest again, covered, while the oven warms, and then she will bake it slowly until the crust is golden and the inside is soft and full of air. But that is for later. For now, the dough rests, the tea steeps, the cupcakes cool, the yarn slides through Biscuit's fingers, the light glows. Everything is held in this moment, soft, safe, warm. Peach pours more tea. The amber liquid swirls in the cups. The steam rises. Biscuit crochets. Loop, pull, rest. Mittens purrs. Sunny hums. The afternoon stays, and stays, and stays. The light moves across the floor. The curtains sway, the lake is still, and the Kawaii Crochet Club is together, always together, in this quiet golden space, where nothing is needed, where everything is enough, soft, still, here, the yarn rests, the tea waits, the bread rises, the light glows, and the story continues. Without end, without beginning, just this, just now, just here, warm, safe, held. The story fades here, but does not end. The cottage remains, the friends remain, the warmth remains. The bread will bake, the tea will pour, the yarn will slide through gentle fingers. The light will always glow, and you are welcome here, in this soft, safe place, whenever you need to return.